distract the crowd.
Right.
If I'm like, this is
All it is.
all it is.
All it is.
All there is.
Are we recording?
Yes. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Yellow Butterfly Podcast. And in this episode, Tani's back. But in this episode, it's going to be a little bit more serious, maybe. May is the Mental Health Awareness Month, and I really wanted to do an episode on mental health. I am all about controlling your mindset, mental health, and all that goes with mental health. And yeah, so I wanted Tani to be on this episode because I can relate to her story when it comes with mental health and being in relationships that are abusive. I personally haven't been in an abusive relationship, but I saw one, my mom and some of her relationships. And I just really felt that Tani's story can maybe help somebody. So yeah, so we're doing this.
This one is probably gonna make me cry.
Yeah.
But it's alright.
And first of all, I want to thank Tani for letting me do this and put it on the podcast, and trusting me.
Cozy comfy. Let's just have a snuggle.
And trusting me to help you tell your story. Hopefully this will help you also, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've talked about some other things off camera, but just processing, getting through it and everything. So first I want to know,
Should I give a little back?
yeah, I was gonna say maybe when your first time you've experienced.
When I was 16, I got into my first abusive relationship. We were together for almost 4 years, and then I got out of that, and I mean a personal protection order, all of that. So it was
16?
4 years after
Oh.
that relationship, you know.
Okay.
So
And when did that start?
Like
was
abuse?
it, yeah.
no, we were together for about 2 years, and then he was diagnosed schizophrenic.
Okay.
And so a part of that, I think, kind of triggered in, and it started the physical abuse.
Gotcha.
So about I stayed for 2 years after the abuse started, and I was young and, you know, dumb, I guess. I mean, and that's the thing, like you said earlier. Why?
Yeah.
Why do you stay? I don't have a cut and dry answer of why. A lot of me says it was the loyalty that I have just instilled in who I am, is like, because I was with him for 2 years and it was so great.
Right.
It was like, oh no, now you're diagnosed schizophrenic and you're going through these mental issues, and I felt like
Yeah.
I can't leave you, I can't abandon you, because
Right.
I wouldn't want you to do that to me. But then he started abusing me, and it got worse and it got worse and it got worse, and I got to a point where I thought it would kill me. And so that for me was, okay, we're at a point where you're not just slapping me across my face, and you're not just doing little small things, you're threatening my life. You're telling my father that you're going to kill me. You're telling my parents that you're going to slit my throat in my sleep. All of these crazy things. And so it was kind of like my loyalty for my family kind of put that wedge in there.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I had to step away.
Okay, so 16, in a relationship, everything's cool.
Yep.
Once he's diagnosed, then something flipped.
I don't know. I've told you some
Yeah.
stories, but it was, I mean, I think that back then, I just thought it was normal. It doesn't sound, I mean, it sounds crazy, but back then
You
it
said
was,
before too, it was like it was passion.
it was.
Yeah.
It was.
He loves me.
Yeah.
He's so passionate.
But here's the thing though, with that it wasn't always, like with him, it was harder.
Okay.
Because we went 2 years and everything was so great. Like it was like we were 16 and we were in love and it was And 2 years he never touched me. He never, like, those signs weren't there for me. And they could have been there, but I just didn't see them because I was young and I was head over heels. And then it was like as soon as something happened inside of his mental and he started going like crazy, literally crazy,
Yeah.
then he starts abusing me, and I thought I can help him.
Yeah.
This isn't who he is. I know who he is. I spent 2 years with this person.
Yeah.
And that's not who he was.
So it's hard kind of seeing seeing him like,
Yeah.
you're the same person. Like,
Like,
what's
hold
going
on, what happened? Yeah.
I get it.
So that one was difficult, and then so, you know, getting out of that, I immediately went, I'll never, ever, ever go through this again. I'll never let anybody put their hands on me. I'll never this. And then I met my most recent ex, and we ended up being together for almost 8 years. Yeah, because we got together almost immediately after that first situation. And I think that that's where I messed up the most, is that I never really, truly, fully gave myself time to grieve that whole situation and get over that and say, okay, you're good enough. You are good enough.
Like,
there's
you
nothing
just went
wrong
through
with
some
you.
stuff.
Exactly. And then, like, we've had the conversation before, is that I never think that it's as big of a deal as other people do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was like, yeah. Yeah, he just beat me
Threw a
up.
chair.
Yeah. Just
No,
sat on
no.
top of my chest and just hit me in my face. No big deal. And it took me to be 28 years old and feeling like I'm not good enough. Every man I'll ever be with will beat me. For me to go, it's not okay.
Right.
It's not. There's nothing about another person putting their hands on you is okay.
Right.
And it's so then that, you know, I immediately got into the new relationship with my most recent ex. We were together for 8 years. And of course, in the beginning, it was great. He knew. I had told him, this is what I've been through. This is what I did. So for me, it was like begging you, please don't do this to me. You know, and it's, oh, I never do that to you, and I never do that. And it was probably, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years into it, and it was the occasional slap to the face, or it was the, you know, I upset you, and for me,
Yeah.
I was so into that relationship at that point that it just was like, you know, when he first did it, I remember feeling, you promised me you would never put your hands on me.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I stayed. I don't have the answer. I don't, you know, looking back on it, nobody will ever love you like I do, is what I heard. You know, and it's, you know.
And see, for me, like, seeing my mom go through some stuff, and it was a lot of the arguing with her relationships. So a lot of verbal. I didn't necessarily see anything physical or anything. I mean, I heard, like, her telling me about it. I'm like, I'm trying to think if I've ever actually saw it. If something was about to happen, I was the one that was like, hold up, we ain't doing that.
Right.
You know, I'm jumping in, and I'm
Right.
like, oh,
Right.
but I was like, that's what mom was putting on.
Right.
Or if I see, you know, I'm jumping in. So as the child, or as the other person connected to the one that's getting abused, I'm like, really as a child, I'm like, why do you put me through, like, you want me to see this? You know, I guess that's selfish. But like,
But that's the thing, is you don't think about it like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have kids,
yeah.
so I don't really understand that aspect of it.
No, I'm saying it's selfish of me, I guess.
Well, no, but
Oh, okay.
right. I
Okay.
hear you, but it's not selfish of you.
Okay.
But in the same sense, it's like when you're in those situations,
Mm-hmm.
you're not thinking about anything other than what you're going through
Yeah.
and how you're. For me, I always say, you know, everybody's an addict for something.
Right.
I feel like I've always been an addict for love. I feel like I just need it. I just need it. Just need me. Just want me. Just need me. And I don't know if it has something to do with, you know, how I grew up, or
Right.
not feeling good enough, or not feeling wanted. So,
Right.
I'm sorry.
Girl!
I'm sorry.
Okay, first of all, whew, I've told this girl several times.
What?
Okay, hold on. Let me pull it together. I'm the host of the show. I got this. Whew.
Oh, it's only gonna get worse.
We're
So-
only 11 minutes
I
in.
know. Okay.
No, but I was gonna say,
Okay.
I've told you several times, there's some attribute about you that remind me of
I
my mom.
know.
So when you're saying that stuff to me, and I feel like I'm trying to ask my mom these things, because I've asked her stuff and it just, I don't remember. Like a lot of her stuff, she couldn't remember
Yeah.
what happened.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you not remember?
Right.
Or just like, whatever. So here, like,
Yeah. So
we
it's
kind of remember mom.
yeah. Well, and I know that, and like I think about that a lot. Like ever
Yeah.
since you said that, like I think about that, and I think about with me being in those situations and almost having children.
Yeah.
And I think about you and I think, oh my gosh, you know, like what did she have to see? And God forbid, as much as I would have loved to have those kids, God forbid I didn't, because they don't deserve to watch that toxic, because it's not fun, it's not, and it's like I said, you don't think about it like that, because I've had situations where my mom has literally, like, we've been discreet, my most recent ex, I'm not going to say any names, but my most recent ex, my mom just, it tore her apart to watch it, and I just remember her one time screaming at me, begging me, stop, just let him go, just go, and it was just like, it doesn't work like that. Like, I can't just turn my heart off. I can't. You don't see a part of him that I see. Right. And as stupid as that sounds, it's like, you know, it's the same thing like if you're with somebody that cheats on you. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much bad in so many people, and there's no reason for anybody to ever put their hands on me, but at the same time, it's like, nobody else was there when it was good. Right. Just like nobody else was there when it was bad. You know what I mean? Like, and it takes a lot to feel like you're strong enough, and feel like, you know, when just with my experience, the men that have abused me, and it's hard because I don't usually say abused me or victim or I don't use those words because I don't want to see myself that way, but in the reality of it, that's what it is. You were abused. Somebody took advantage of you, somebody manipulated your mind to make you think you weren't good enough and that you deserved to get punched in the face. You weren't. You didn't.
My mom's point of view, like, she would never put me in danger.
Right.
Like, this is her going through her own stuff. He ain't putting his hands on you. Like, he's never gonna put his hands on you. He's never gonna do this stuff to you.
Right.
See, I got you.
Right.
This is what I'm going through.
Right.
So for her, I think it was kind of like, you're fine. You're not gonna, no one's gonna hurt you or anything. But for me seeing it, I'm like, but you're showing me a different thing. Like, you're showing me like
that you don't care about yourself.
Yeah, you don't care about.
That's
to
what
me, it was like you don't care about yourself and you're weak.
Yeah.
Leave. And like, I don't understand, because she would talk. And this is all out of respect to my mom, and I feel like I want to keep kind of, I guess, sharing her story in some kind of way.
Yeah.
Because she would do good as far as like independent, like she didn't really need anybody.
Right.
But when her dudes were in jail, she was good.
Right.
She running stuff,
Right.
whatever. Yeah, I go see him, visit him, whatever. But when he got out, it was like it switched. And I'm like, hold on. He was just good.
Yeah.
You don't need him. But now he's out and you...
It's that sense of being wanted. That's the thing.
Yeah, and for me, I was just like, I don't...
Right.
And I know it's all mental, and like my mom's gone through some stuff in her childhood and everything, so I understand, and she was trying to go through to therapy and everything, and she was trying to make all the steps, but for some reason, just that one thing of needing somebody, she always said she didn't want to. Because I asked her, like, why? She's like, she didn't want to die alone.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Like, but you need to find somebody that's going to treat you.
So you gotta find yourself.
Yeah, find
and
yourself.
That's what it is, because women, like, let's call it how it is, women like me and your mother, you know, we feel like we need somebody. We feel like we need somebody, and everybody feels like they need someone, but it's like, I'm looking so hard that I always grab the wrong person because I'm looking too hard.
Or anybody that's going to pay
Anybody
attention.
love me.
Yeah.
Why, and then you don't understand why they don't love you, because you don't love yourself.
Yeah.
You don't love yourself enough to say, get out of my house because you just hit me.
That's not going to work.
You just put a gun to my head in front of my brother.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to see you or speak to you again. I never did that.
Right.
I took my brother away from the danger and brought myself right back to it. And he's begging me, don't go back there. Don't, just come home with me. And it's like, I've always found myself, you know, and I would talk so much shit, and I would say, forgive him, and then an hour later, it was like I felt this pit, like I can't not be with this person. Why can't you?
Right.
Because he makes you feel like you have to be dependent on him. You know, my mom always said, somebody tells you you're not good enough times, you start to believe it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, because it's a mental thing. The one person that you love more than anything, every day is telling you you suck, you're fat, you're lazy, you're ugly, you're this, you're that, you're that. Oh, well, that must be true because I trust him and I love him.
Yeah.
He wouldn't. He's telling me this, so it has
Yeah.
to be true. That's what I'm saying. You have to.
Well, that's where it's a lot. I mean, with relationships and anything, that's why self-talk is so important, and affirmations, and not only other, like, surrounding yourself around people that are going to lift you up, protect your energy, but also, you know, you doing the work for yourself.
Because nobody else is
doing it every day to get your mind right, whether that be meditation, yoga, going for a walk, whatever, putting some music on, anything you can do to keep those positive mental talk, the self-talk is so important. And being around people that are going to support you and love you and everything. Also give you constructive criticism and things like that, but in a healthy way. And yeah, so I want you to talk about now, first of all, some of your mindset now.
Okay.
But really, what was the breaking point, or what was the point that you were like, I'm done? Because yes, you have to decide, you have to be done or whatever. But what was that point for you, maybe in your last relationship, to be like, I'm done, and then how did you get out?
That's the thing, is that I always seem to, outsiders looking in,
Yeah.
always have my stuff together. Have it on
So did my
point.
mom.
That's what I'm saying.
Have stuff together.
Have my stuff together. I got my place, I got my this, I got my this, but then I let him come in and destroy everything I got. I can't tell you how many times.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen it.
I'm saying crazy, because I do feel that sense of, like, me looking at the child I didn't get to have and saying, bro, I'm sorry, like, you didn't deserve that, you know what I mean? And you looking at me like, why, you know? And that's the thing, I think that with me, is that because I act like it's not that big of a deal. Like, oh, it was easy, it was no, it was difficult. It took me years and years and years of back and forth of, do I stay, do I go, oh my gosh, I can't live without him, yes I can, I need him. And it was, I was pregnant, and he punched me in the stomach, my third pregnancy, and he punched me in my stomach, and at that point, it was just like a switch. And then I went from being this weak, emotional, love me, desperate chick to, I was angry. I got angry really fast. And it was like, you know what, there's just lines that you can't cross. So even after that happened, he came home with me because he lives with me. And it was like, it no longer,
And see, for me, just being the person, I'm just go back to my childhood, or even just me now, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I would have been. And I know there's people like that, like me, that are like, girl, I want to kick them. But I really wanted to get the point of view of, you know, the person in the relationship, because it's not that easy.
No.
And I'm understanding that, and I'm trying to, you know, just be compassionate about that it's not that easy.
Yeah.
And even for me towards my mom, like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't as easy. I mean, to me, it's easy.
But see, that's the
But
thing.
it's not that easy.
And that's what, you know, we talked about earlier, where it's like people go, oh, just leave, just leave, just leave, just leave, just leave. And it's like, yeah, I want to just leave. You don't know how bad I want to just leave. I want to just literally, like, I can't tell you how many times I used to say to him, I wish I could just erase every memory of you that I have in my brain, but it doesn't work like that. And the way that I love so hard that it's like, I never wanted to feel like I treated you the way you treated me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't, just because you're a piece of shit, excuse my language, I can't treat you like that. I'm not you, and I can't treat you like that. So now what I have to do is, now I have to finesse this whole situation, because after you hit me in my stomach when I was pregnant with your child, okay, you're dangerous. You're more dangerous than I ever thought you could ever be at this point, because who does that?
Right.
So I had to finesse, and I had to tiptoe around, and I had to plan accordingly to get him out. And it sounds, oh, you're sneaky or this. I don't care. I don't care what I was. I don't care what it came off was. It was
Make smart moves.
I had to say and do whatever I had to do to make him believe that there was go back home. I need you to just go on vacation just for a while, just get you on one way. We'll get it together. We'll figure it out later. Mm-hmm. No, and I knew in my head, you're never coming back here.
Right.
Ever. And so it's so hard. It's so hard. Like, I don't ever want it to come off like it's, like I said, when you're done, you're done.
Right.
True. There is a switch. There is a switch for every single woman. Yeah. There's a switch that hold on a second. No. I'm going to take this and take this and take this and take this. But there is a point where you mentally are just done, and you have to make your heart be there too. Because I think that was the problem with me, is that mentally, I knew I was better. I knew I didn't deserve this. I knew, no, I've got this. But it was like my heart every time. I was like, oh no, but I love him. And love isn't enough. Love isn't enough.
So that moment happened, and you're like, I've got to make this whatever, and you got him away.
Now, sticking to that was difficult in itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was hard. It was when he left, I cried and I cried and I cried and I cried, because I knew that was it. I knew that was a chapter.
Yeah.
I knew it was a chapter of my life that was over, and it was like, God, I just wasted 8 years of my life on somebody that genuinely never cared about me. Because if you cared about me, you would have never put your hands on me, let alone your child in my stomach.
Right.
So it's not easy. It's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, is literally care about myself first. Mm-hmm. And that's the one thing, is if I can say to anybody, is that you have to get over caring about somebody else before yourself, because you have to care about yourself first, because if you don't, you'll die. Like, I know that sounds like, oh, you'll die, but that's the truth. If
you put yourself in danger,
it's a godsend that I made it through what I made it through. There's been so many instances where I don't think I was supposed to live through.
Yeah.
There's a reason I'm right where I'm supposed to be, right where I'm supposed to be there. Not a second before, not a second after. You're right where you're supposed to be. I believe in that. And it's just, you have to, I can't tell anybody what they're supposed to do in their situation, but I know that you have to find your switch.
Yeah.
And follow that. Your intuition is everything, and when you tell yourself this isn't right, it's not. And I think that's what the thing is that a lot of women, we do that, where we're like, oh yeah, no, it'll be okay, but you deep down, you know something's not right, but you don't follow it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, when you feel that, it's always right here. Women's intuition is everything, I think. But
right. So what would you say, just to wrap this up, and give some people, maybe people that are watching this, that are trying to get out of a relationship or something. First of all, before that, I do want to just stress how important your mental health is, and how important daily affirmations and positivity and just protecting your energy and being around people that are supporting you and everything. In an abusive relationship or not, if you're just feeling depressed and everything,
especially
like
what's
that.
going on in the world right now too.
Yeah, feeling alone and stuff, and not being afraid to reach out to people. I know I've gone through my own stuff, when you're in that headspace, you don't want to talk to nobody.
Yeah.
But you have to push through that and just talk to, even if it's just one person a day, just
get out of your comfort zone.
You have to push through it, yeah. Not saying you can't give yourself a couple days, whatever, but push through that. But to end this, what would you tell somebody that is going through this and they're like, yeah, I'm breaking point, I'm done, any kind of advice, and if they have family that can help them or not, if that was helpful to you, just something you can give somebody.
I know that when you're in a situation like that and you think that, you know, like, oh, you've cried wolf so many times.
Yeah.
I remember telling my mom something after the fact of what happened to me. And I don't remember what it was exactly that I told her, but I told her this happened, and she said to me, why didn't you tell me? I didn't think anybody cared.
Yeah.
Nobody could save me from my own decisions. So if I would, you know, if you're in this situation like that and you are done, you gotta follow through, because it's the only way you're gonna get out. If you think that it'll get better once you're already at a breaking point where you're like, yo, this is not acceptable and this is not okay. It's not okay for me, it's not okay for my child, it's not okay for the rest of my family that has to witness
The
it.
family, there's a, like, okay,
We have to step back, you know, and that's what my parents did, is that they said, you know what, we love you, but we don't condone this. You know, I'd ask my dad for help all the time. I'm not helping you until you help yourself. And that's the thing. So follow through, you have to follow through, you have to believe in yourself, and you just stay strong. You have to.
That's why I feel like, I mean, maybe cheesy and corny or whatever, but like, even if you can find time and this, I'm not saying this is gonna solve it,
Right.
but just to keep your mind strong, I feel like telling yourself stuff in the morning, praying or whatever it is,
Whatever
just
it is
like,
you do.
I'm strong, I'm beautiful, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this.
I did that.
Before anybody wakes up or before anything, just so you got your mind ready to help you get through the day. And I'm not a counselor, I don't know the right answer. Just trying to shed some light on this and just trying to show that your mental health is so important, and that it's okay.
It's okay to cry.
It's okay to cry. It's okay to say, hey, I'm depressed. Hey, I don't, like, my mind ain't strong right now. It's okay.
Scream it out, cry it out, whatever.
Talk about it.
Talk about it. Because
And
that's the
actually
one thing that's
process.
helped me. Yeah,
Yeah.
like even talking to you, like talking about it. Even if you don't want to talk about it, man, get past that comfort zone. Because I tell you, once you release that and you let it go, write it down. Write a letter to the person that hurts you, even if you're still in that situation. If you're laying next in a bed with him right now and you feel lonelier than you've ever felt sitting next to somebody, write him a letter. Never give it to him. Rip it up, burn it.
Yeah, but
Get those feelings out. You have
For
to.
sure, for sure. Okay. How you feel?
Good.
Better?
Yeah. Do you feel better?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I feel good. I want you to feel good.
Yeah.
Again, we're just doing this episode again to bring awareness to Mental Health Awareness Month, which is May, and giving Tani some time to share her story to hopefully help somebody else. And then just for me to kind of help share my mom's story or what I went through, whatever. I just hope this is helpful for somebody. We're no experts here. I mean, she's gone through it, but I know everyone's different, so.
And I still don't want to know.
So, yeah, I think that's all. Thank you guys for watching. Stay strong, stay focused, and until next time, bye.